Good morning, everyone. Here's Mauro Aprile Zanetti, San Francisco Cloud for Why. Today, we are very excited because we are also connected directly to Milano, Italy. We have Sergio Amati from General Manager of IAB. So we're talking about the Interactive Advertising Bureau. Ciao, Sergio. How are you
Hi.
doing?
Ciao. Very well. Very well.
Good. Good under the circumstances, because
Yeah,
we know
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't want to talk about that.
no, no, we
Let's talk about something more interesting than the lockdown.
definitely. We want to let you know that we are very close to you, to Italy, our
Thank you.
country, and definitely. Yeah, today we are, gathering in this fireside chat with you. Thanks so much for being with us to discuss some specific topics. But first of all, please, Sergio, can you tell us about IAB? What is the mission? And yeah, what's the goal? What's your daily job?
So thanks, Mauro, and really, I'm very happy to share this conversation with you and your company, which is extremely interesting and innovative, and also Italian. So I'm very happy that we are not famous only for wine, but also for technology and innovation. And
Thank you. So,
this
thank
makes
you.
me proud. This makes me proud. IAB stands, as you said, for Interactive Advertising Bureau, and it was born in the US, actually, and is now in around 40 countries in the world. So it's an international organization that gathers, let's say, all the operators of the digital marketing and advertising field. Uh, and it's quite different than other organization because we have, let's say, not only advertisers, not only agencies, but we have all of them. So in our association in Italy, we have around 200 members, and we have from big investors, say such as Coca-Cola, just to name one international. We have Italian Intesa San Paolo, we have Enel, we have big companies. Also, we have media agencies, advertising agencies, and we have market research agencies. And we have, and this is something that is growing, and growing over the years, lots of tech providers.
Hmm.
So among our members, we have IBM, Salesforce, Oracle. So this is let's say a living example of how technology is becoming a lot important, more and more important for the world of marketing and communication. So my everyday job is to, let's say, talk with members, and it's a lot of pleasure because they are an invaluable source of ideas, and it's like they are my motivation. So we organize, let's say, a lot of training for them. We represent them on on the European and Italian institutions, and we also organize big events. We just finished one of them called IAB Forum, which is, say, one of the major events in Europe for digital marketing and innovation. And actually, normally it was a physical event.
Sure.
Now, unfortunately, but not unfortunately, this was an opportunity. I take
Yeah.
this as an opportunity. It was completely digital, but it was interesting to start this new experience and to make it work. So let's say events to spread the digital culture, because in our opinion, it's extremely important that an association that has so many, which is a center of competence, has the responsibility to share, to spread the culture of digital, which is something that we need. And in this moment in time, we need it more than ever. So let's say we have accelerated our process to digitalize Italy during the lockdown and because of the pandemic, but we need to do more. Now we don't have to work on an emergency, but we work together to make the system grow. So that's
Cool.
really one of the most important part of what IAB does in Italy.
Well, thank you so much, Sergio. I understand from what you're saying that your members, your association, IAB,
Mhm.
it's basically an amazing ecosystem where you listed, you have big corporations, you mentioned some of them, you have media and advertisement agencies, and I guess that's why your IAB forum recently was even in partnership with the top one in Italy, I guess, with Il Corriere Innovazione, and
Mhm.
it was part of this digital presentation. And also, you mentioned marketing agencies and tech providers. So these, let's say, four categories basically have to speak one same language, and you look like to be, let's say, the ambassador. You know, the kind of uh, um, the traffic light designer, and I guess the language is the MarTech. So, can you tell us better about this word, which maybe is not just a buzzword? And you know, we here in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, are basically the guilty people who have been creating the 99% of tech language and buzzwords. So, tell us better about MarTech. What does it mean?
Yeah, so yeah, your fault. Yeah, you guys created all of this, and now it's becoming not a buzzword, but like a reality and something very real, a real thing, a real thing. So let's say that um, technology is becoming more and more important for marketers. Let's say it's a matter of fact. But in the past, say talking about the past, in the last years, so let's say
Few years ago.
we saw uh, the growth of tech platform to help improve, to make more efficient marketing processes. And someone, let's say, a website called chiefmartech.com, chiefmartech.com, has created a map in 2011 on MarTech platforms. And in 2011, they were around 150. In 2020, they made the same map, and now they mapped 8,000
Wow,
platforms on the market.
that's exactly what's called exponential, Aviti. It's
Exactly.
very
That's
exponential.
exactly which is positive, but in the let's say now is not a tech-driven marketing anymore. Let's say in the past, big companies, big tech vendors such as Oracle, Salesforce, IBM, Adobe, they created what they called, with a really very creative, they all called cloud. Oracle Marketing Cloud, Salesforce Marketing Cloud, IBM Marketing Cloud. So they have the same they have the same creative agency. So they all the same name. So these were like platforms that to increase, to improve, and the promise was that to improve the relationship between the company and their customers, clients. This was a promise, and it wasn't easy for companies to get to achieve this objective. So say because the software was driving the evolution, but now with the explosion of digital application and stuff, so this is something that also marketers are getting used to. So this is an important partner. So we have, let's say, from one side, marketers who are like have growing need to improve, to increase, to make more efficient the relationship with their customers. On the other side, they need technology to do this. This is the reason why all these technology platforms are becoming so important. Say also because of the digital explosion, keywords such as customer experience have to be, in my opinion, completely rewritten. Have to be rewritten completely, because I don't think they are dead, but we have to change the way we think about customer experience or customer journey. In the past, the customer experience or the customer journey was very simple, and the touch points between the company and the customers were few. Now with the digital explosion, I'm saying something obvious, but I mean it's very important to understand that only to map the touch points between a customer and a company, it takes a lot of time, and it's only the beginning. Then you have to create something, and there's a lot of technology behind this, to not only to map, but also to manage, also to measure, also to monitor, also to do a lot of things between the customer and the company. So let's say this growing complexity has created, let's say, a gap, because from one side, marketer have to grow their expertise on technology processes, and on the other side, tech people have to understand what are marketing objectives. So this is, let's say, the dialogue that is getting more and more important, but it's getting more and more difficult sometimes. And let's say the key, because if we want, we go over this MarTech as a keyword, we have to work together to make it possible.
Thank you so much. Well, as you know, we are basically discussing the digital crossroads. As you were saying, this is a crossroad to the future. Yeah. And we, Cloud for Why, not just we have the naming with cloud, we are 100% in the MarTech pitch.
Absolutely.
It's where we work. Yeah, because, and I have to say, we are also very happy and proud somehow to assist and serve all these important process, to make brands, companies, organizations, because we are in many segments and verticals, not just retail, but public transportations, banking, shopping mall, and on and on. So what we do is actually with location-based customer insights, and everything is in the cloud, we enhance, we totally redesign, we help to redesign compelling customer experiences. Because as you said, everything has been changing, and these days, because of COVID-19, things are even going faster and faster, considering analysts like McKinsey have realized that in 8 weeks, couple of months, they've seen something like 5 years of moving forward into really embracing some kind of digital kind of lifestyle and tools. As you were saying, IAV Forum was and is every year such a big event in Italy for Europe. And this year, because of COVID-19, you were able to deliver it via digital tools through video conferencing. And so this can change everything. It's already the experience of being part of a process that you mentioned several times today. It's mainly a cultural point. It's not just the technology itself. So let's say, let's pick one of the questions we have for you here. Someone is asking you if you would pick one segment or industry in Italy or Europe, or if you know about US or Asia, where you are seeing more and more a MarTech awareness and maturity. What is it? What is the one who is a step
yeah,
ahead?
this is a very good question, and thanks, Mauro. This morning I had a long conversation with this guy who works for Nexi. Nexi, I think most of you don't know
Sure.
what Nexi is. Nexi is an Italian-based payment and fintech company, but now is becoming one fintech giant at European level, because they recently, today, was announced that they merged with another European company, and they are like a 10 billion company on payments and fintech. And he said that when he started to work for Nexi a few years ago, not 20 years ago, they were like 800 people. Now they are 5,000.
Wow.
And this was so amazing, an amazing growth, let's say by acquisition, by merge. But I mean, it was an amazing growth. And also they have to grow on marketing and technology. And this guy is the responsible for, let's say, what they call customer value management. So let's say the objective of this guy is to take the most from Nexus customers. And he told me the way he started this process, because he said when he arrived in Nexi, there wasn't a customer value office. So no one was focused on increasing customer value. And he had to sit together with technology to build this all. And it wasn't an easy process, of course. But I mean, what happened, and this is, in my opinion, a great example of dialogue to evolve, is that they sat together and they define a common objectives, and they created clear duties for IT and for marketing. So the IT built the infrastructure, and the marketing, of course, worked together with the IT, giving them requirements, very clear requirements. Something that I think is very interesting is what they did on data. So they have a data scientist team, and they split the team in two. One part of the team was in the IT department, and part of the team was in the marketing department, and it's still like this. And they created a sort of, but they call it community. So let's say a common area where they can work together and create common data models, common segmentations, so ideas, but let's say only having the marketing point of view and the technology point of view working together, they could achieve their objectives. A few years ago, talking about data analyst was more like a tech business. Now it's not like this anymore. This role is fell down, so it doesn't exist anymore. And he said that this is something that is part of their culture. So they now working together on the same objective to get the most from their customers, but accepting each other, their different point of views, and working on the same path. And this is, in my opinion, one good example of how marketing and technology can dialogue. And also the choice of platforms was there was a clear responsibility of some platform, the more, like, say, legacy platform for IT, but the whole infrastructure was co-designed together with the marketing. But say, having said that, so the most important thing is people. So let's say that what these guys told me, what said was that the most difficult part of his job is to select the right people. There's a shortage of skills, people with this type of skills. So people who understand marketing processes and also understand technology processes. So it's something that is missing, but I mean, it's normal because it's growing and growing and growing. And
Sure,
but I mean,
sure.
the modern, let's call it modern marketer will have to have this type of skill. Listening to him, I saw, let's say, he is the prototype of the marketer of the future. So he's an engineer with a background on technology, then he worked on marketing. So let's say, but for him, there's no difference talking with technology and talking with marketing. So let's say it's like a bridge between the two worlds.
Thanks so
And
much. Well, I can say that actually our company itself uh, sees the same kind of formation and reshaping of roles, being engineers as a base and turning into a MarTech company. So it's about learning, and
learning.
definitely we have a plethora of examples of clients who actually mainly it's not about a lack of technology, it's always a lack of culture, as you were saying,
I give you a
skills.
no,
Yeah,
please, sorry.
yeah, no, just to say that before even discussing skills, new skills to acquire, it's mainly, if you agree, in having some kind of awareness about being data driven, understanding, about the importance of data. Because let me tell you this, whatever you can do as a marketer, as a creative guy, on one end, and on the other end, as an IT infrastructure, you still are two silos. There is no bridge. There is no, dialogue. There is no fluxes in the middle. And but if you do not have data, how can you design even marketing, or how can you design a customer experience? How can you run the business, boost your growth without knowing, your data? And when we speak about data, in this case, that's our job. We speak about real-time data, personal data. So to give you an example, because of the lockdown overnight, all over the globe, we deliver our solution in 120 countries, over 60,000 locations, and we extract something around 20 billion data per month. So uh, we have the vision of what's going on in the world, and overnight, companies, brands, organizations, any kind of industry was in the dark. Like, and so now, what are you going to do? How do you speak with your customers, your prospects, your clients? How do you strengthen the relationship? And we have the benchmark of some clients and brands of ours who had data, because of our solution that is totally
Mhm.
frictionless, seamless. We leverage the
Mhm.
Wi-Fi if there is the Wi-Fi, and we don't add anything else on the infrastructure. It's a software as a service in remote, and you design a digital experience, a digital welcome for the end user. Those ones who have data were able to keep on going on with their communications, with their marketing, adjusting even the creativity, the campaigns, because something that was designed 6 months before the COVID wasn't any more relevant with COVID. How can you market something not considering the reality of a new normalcy? Those ones who didn't have data, they're still in the dark
Yeah.
because they thought, well, we're making good money every year, and we think to be the best, and we're okay. And we just say digital transformation, but no one was doing anything. And we're still very in a Jurassic era kind of digital transformation. And then out of the blue, they were focused only on their product, on the legacy. But as we say, legacy can kill you. If some brands of the great 30s, 40s, 50s were moving on into reshaping the experience and not just the product, they will be gone. So this is very important, is the culture of data, understanding that. So thank you for addressing that point, and thanks for your job as a IAB, because you are an ambassador, an amazing ambassador in our community and ecosystem, which is MarTech, made of brands like old economy ones, made of media and advertisement agencies, made of marketers, marketing agencies, and brands. And so, and digital provider, as you were saying, but we need someone who will really lead and reshape the language. Thanks for this job.
No, thanks, thanks, Mauro. Yeah, just I agree what you said about the cultural leap that we have to, the companies have to do. But I mean, also in our association, I was thinking about that. Now, I have to fight every day because they are telling me. So we are an advertising, and so better if we talk about ad tech and not MarTech. We,
Okay.
so let's say it's easy, it's funny because I mean, just to give you an idea of how difficult it is to break the walls and the cultural walls. Now they say because we are advertising, we want to talk only about softwares or tech platform to facilitate the advertising. So the, let's say the one part of the process. But now this wall between ad tech and martech is anachronistic because we have to talk about the customer experience as a whole process. So it's impossible for a company to stop using technology when they have delivered an advertisement on the customers. They want to analyze what is the response of the customer to the advertising, what's the experience after this. So they want to analyze the process as a whole, and that is important. But I mean, you can understand that sometimes you have to break cultural walls also within organizations that are like very, let's say, advanced in digital and technology. So say what I'm trying to do now is to work on into my association to make all members to understand that is important to talk about the whole customer experience, not only the ad tech
Yes.
side.
Yes.
But I mean, just to make you guys understand that even if apparently it's a very, let's say, advanced group of companies, we still have cultural barriers to understand that there are no barriers anymore.
Well, thanks so much for pointing that out. I mean, you're right. If you do not have an holistic approach and you're
Exactly.
still just focusing on the advertisement side rather than, you know, including the marketing, the communications, because
Every,
I have to say that very often people exchange marketing and communications for the same topic. Well, they are two different things because, you know, marketing is an action, how to market a
exactly.
product and experience. The advertisement is another level, how you will advertise your not just product, but even your action, even your mission, even your language. You know, just to mention one that everyone can consider the very king or queen, like Apple. Apple reshaped everything in this direction, you know, since day one. So they are really leading that. But we have a question from someone, I guess, because of what you said, saying that don't you think that advertisement is more a unilateral communication, while marketing is more bilateral and multilateral? Well,
Yes. Now it's yes, because yeah, I answered the question because I say, in my opinion, the difference between advertising and marketing is getting quite blurring. So I mean, so this unidirectional communication was before the digital era. So now talking, advertising and marketing, so let's say it's part of
yeah,
multi-channel and bi-directional dialogue between the company and their customers. So and technology plays of course a key role on this. So let's say but I mean, this is a very good question also because a lot of people still is on the idea that these two words are separated.
yeah, I guess it's because the marketing, as we are talking about now, and again, by the way, from you and IAB, we are understanding that we cannot separate advertisement and marketing. It's all the same holistic approach. But I guess from that question and you're answering, what I understand is that on one end, we had advertisement as a sign, which is a message from A to B, but beyond the digital possibility of becoming interactive, the end user doesn't really have a mic. While on the
Mm.
other side, marketing through technology it is definitely a bilateral, long
Yeah,
ongoing conversation because I see with all our clients, the moment their end users, customers step into their locations, wherever it comes, the contact, and they get on board through a splash page, guest Wi-Fi, for example, or other, a QR or text messaging. That moment means basically I'm introducing myself as Mauro to you as brand Sergio Mari, and now you
mhm.
know who I am, and I know that you are protecting also my data because you know on our specific end as Cloud for Why, we were born in Europe, in Italy, as a spin-off of the University of Pisa. But we grew up in the United States in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, and now our headquarters are in New York City. But what I want to say is, we were born with the idea of the protection of data. So GDPR for us is, as we say, you cannot do any kind of innovation without data protection and regulation. The more you regulate, the better you know how to innovate. That's why California was the first state in the United States to basically kind of copy and paste or adjust and readopt the GDPR in California, protecting more and more the customer. Okay, so we see that the moment I introduce myself to you as a brand digitally, seamless process, a conversation starts because I go away from your environment ecosystem and I can receive automatically a survey, which means
Yeah.
they give me the mic to me, I can say something and on and on. So definitely I understand this as a multilateralism. But let me get another question. I don't know if anything else can be added. What about the new specializations? How do you see the job market? I guess because you were mentioning that we need more and more. So what about the youth, the young people, and new
Yeah.
specialization starting from colleges, universities? What is the reality? What can you tell us, Sergio?
Yeah, this is a very important question. I mean, in Italy, but I mean anywhere, we see, let's say, a lack of competencies, of skills, and one of our responsibility is to grow young people and to train them to this new digital world. We do a lot of training for, let's say, university. We are partner for 3 masters in Italy, master
Oh, cool.
degree in Italy. We do a lot of digital marketing courses, and we recently launched also a certification for digital marketing skills. And let's say I'll talk about the certification a bit later. I mean, young people, they are digital natives. So for them, talking about digital is anachronistic. Everything is digital. It's like saying that I started to work on in digital, and I was we were a few, and we could say we work in the internet, which
Oh,
which is
yes.
which is funny
Of
enough.
course.
Saying now you work in the internet, of course, everyone works. But I mean,
Sure.
when I started to work on this, I could say that I was working on the internet because it was like a job. But now it's not like this. So let's say people they are digital natives. So for them, digital is like an environment. Say it's
Yeah.
the place where they work. So and having said that, we cannot say I'm working on the internet anymore, or we also cannot say I'm working on digital advertising anymore. We have to say that I work on data, I work on campaign management, I work on analytics,
MarTech. MarTech.
so many specialization. So they say
Yeah.
that is important, but also let's say a common skill that every marketer has to have is the understanding of technology processes. So let's say if they don't understand they don't have to be technology experts, but they have to understand that
Sure.
behind a question, behind a so there are processes. So if I ask me as a marketer, ask to you as a IT person a question, I have to understand what are the processes that are behind the question I'm making. Instead, we will start a dialogue
Sure.
which is not a dialogue. So you don't
Yeah.
understand what I want. I don't understand what I want. I think you are trying to stop me. You are thinking that I don't understand
Sure.
anything. So
Sure.
that's a lot of that's a lot important. So answering the question is that we are working on different type of specializations and to create let's say different professionals on digital marketing. So social media, programmatic, and so let's say going even more in details. Say we have a course
Yeah.
on programmatic specialists. It's only
That's
dedicated to create programmatic specialists. So only on programmatic advertising. But I mean, uh,
yeah.
the future is on, let's say, specialization for sure. But say I'm not talking about only skills, but also about reskilling. So there's a lot of
Yes.
marketers. They are like me and you, let's say, working on companies, and they need to reskill in order to cope with the new era of marketing technology.
That's
Instead,
very cool.
they will have lots of problems. So we are working also on this
Mm,
type of targets now. So we not only with students or young people, we're also working
sure.
with
Sure.
professionals, and they need to better understand how a modern marketing structure is going to work.
That's very cool to hear because in the United States, of course, it's pretty different than Italy. People are more used to understand that the reskilling process is an ongoing conversation. They don't think that what they studied will be something with them forever, but they need to reskill. And during crisis, this becomes a compelling issue. So thanks for saying that. I mean, knowing that IAB can also provide reskilling process for professionals. Today we learned
Yeah,
another great little tile from you guys. But you mentioned very interesting aspects I would like to dig in, but timing is running. Just let me say also that, for example, here we say social selling. That means that world of being able to sell through social media. And now you
yeah,
see how the digital tools are adjusting, continuously being redesigned, to become more and more friendly. And somehow, again, the front runner of all these technology design thinking has always been Apple, because we do not have to deal with manuals, with understanding, kind of a grammar, but it's an atomic understanding. Instead, it's hands-on. You unpack
and
and you start. And you're right, Gen Z, people who are digital natives, uh, they are basically not like our approach in, for example, let's speak about Final Cut, Photoshop. We who are late in the 40s or late 30s or 50s, we're used to, oh, you have to learn the Photoshop or the Final Cut. These kids just open it and play with it. So probably the technology provider in our ecosystem of MarTech, as you were saying, they should, it's also a question that I'm sharing with you, they should learn how to make their tools more like easy, hands-on, like go. A dashboard, that's why we, for example, have a dashboard, a console that where you just play with data, you understand while you extract data. But that said, you also raised another question that let me think how, empowering the MAR technology, it's not just about even marketing itself. But for example, we are in MarTech, but because of COVID-19, we made some tools designed for marketers and digital people to do contact tracing. So basically, we can provide you with intelligence in onboarding people to be notified, because today this is a must. We're going to
Yeah.
restaurants here where you still have, later tonight, I have an event that I will attend. There can be 120 people in the room. We will be 20. But still, they're asking me to fill a paper with signature. So it's ridiculous because this is still happening with paper. I have to print paper. I still have to bring it in person to prove that I'm in their database, which is a CRM. This is another word that we should have taught. CRM, customer relationship management. But as someone told me recently, DM should stay for mastery, customer relationship mastery. And you understand that we can do, thanks to the digital tools for marketing that we provide our clients with, now we redesign it to help anybody for COVID-19 situation to do contact tracing. And at the end of the day, the contact tracing will help your employees, Sergio, your customers, and even at the end of the day is a boost for your growth, for your business. So this is when technology innovation becomes impactful. This is very, very important. And whenever you want, please feel free to contact us to have a talk inside your group of members to better
Absolutely.
explain how we can help with location insights. So,
Absolutely. I
Sergio,
mean, yeah, this is. I forgot to say that we will definitely start in 2021 a working table on MarTech, and of course you guys are welcome on this table, because I'm of course I'm certain that you will add a lot of value to our, let's say, to the discussion that we are building. And we want to get on this table advertisers, tech companies, and many, because we want to increase, let's say, the awareness, and also to, let's say, to stand as a center of competency for of excellence on this. And we'll also start, let's say, a course. We are talking with some university, a course completely dedicated to MarTech. So let's say it's not only a buzzword, but we want to make it real. So let's say to create like tools and to create to start to create, let's say, skilled professionals on this. And yeah, so many things to say about what you said before. Let's say I agree with you. Let's say companies, tech vendors, has to become more and more user friendly. So to understand that because now there's a lot of what we call no code platforms that make easy to do almost everything. So I love to use a platform called Wix that I love to create websites. And Wix is a
Wix.
great example of how so I have an idea and I have to share it with my team. And
Yes.
it's easy for me to go on Wix to create like a mock-up website in minutes and share it with my team, which was impossible in the past. But I mean,
So, Sergio,
oh, sorry, go
no,
ahead.
no, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, but big companies have to understand that from a customer, from a user, not a customer point of view, this is something, a quantum leap. So they have to understand that for me now, it's easy to do something that years ago was almost impossible. And so they have also to make an effort to make their products a lot more simple and usable for everyone. There's, of course, a big difference between Wix and
Sure, sure,
other platforms. But I mean, in terms of mindset, they have to
sure,
work
sure,
also
sure.
having this in mind.
Well, I love hearing that from you, and I would like to end our beautiful conversation. Thanks again so much for being with us, with sharing a reverse shot. You know, I'm talking from San Francisco, considered worldwide kind of Silicon Valley capital, whatever. And people think here's everything at the cutting edge, everything is super futuristic, whatever. And instead, there are still so many old, really old stuff. Like, since you're mentioning what you did, what you do with your team, you basically draft a website mock-up through weeks and share with them. Recently, here, my wife told me that she was in a meeting where people printed a website that they want to show to the customer. They printed it on paper and they couldn't understand anything. And then she asked them, why didn't you show the draft through like, and they said, well, we have to call specialists. And she said, she's not in it, specialist. She said, well, I design my stuff with Wix. So this is what I want to say, that basically Italy can provide some amazing insights, and you are amazing creative people, great entrepreneurs, a wonderful and unique country that more often, too often, Italians think they're not that good compared to other countries. It's not true. Italians can make the difference. Italy is an outstanding country, and you can be still one of the greatest of the greats, and not just America or San Francisco, Silicon Valley. Thanks so much, Sergio.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Mauro, and thank you all. And it was a great pleasure.
our pleasure. Club Hawaii likes to, having people like you, and we are happy for the invitation. We will join your event whenever you want to share with your members our best practices. Thanks so
Very
much.
good. Thank you.
Be
Bye.
be
Ciao.
safe. Be safe. Bye bye.
Yeah.